Samantha Valichandra. This is just the news. Let's get straight to it. As many as 43 leaders, including Jyotiraditya Scindia, Narayan Rane, and Sarbananda Sonowal, took oath on Wednesday as part of the cabinet expansion of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led government. Now, 15 cabinet ministers, including some new faces, were sworn in the swearing-in ceremony that took place at the Darbar Hall in Rashtrapati Bhavan. Here is a list of ministers that I'm going to read out right now. Narayan Rane is the Minister of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Jyotiraditya Scindia has got the Civil Aviation portfolio. Ashwini Vaishnaw has got Railways, Communication and Electronics and Information Technology. Kiran Rijiju is the Law and Justice Minister. Dharmendra Pradhan has got the Education Ministry. Hardeep Singh Puri has got petroleum along with the existing housing and urban development. Mansukh Mandavia is the health minister along with chemicals and fertilizers portfolio, and Anurag Thakur has got the INB and sports ministry. Moving on, following the cabinet reshuffle, the newly appointed IT minister Ashwini Vaishnaw has said that Twitter must follow the rules set by the country. Now, Ashwini Vaishnaw has replaced former IT minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, and this is according to the Hindu. According to the Hindu, Ashwini Vaishnaw has said, and I quote, "The law of land is supreme," and he's also urged the social media company to comply with the new IT rules. He went on to say, and I quote, "Whoever is a citizen of India and those who stay in India will have to abide by the laws of the country." Meanwhile, Twitter has said that it will appoint a grievance officer in 8 weeks. Now, in the meantime, the court has made it amply clear that it would not grant Twitter any interim protection from action for non-compliance of the IT rules 2021, and that the central government would be free to proceed on any breach of rules. Now, Twitter has responded saying that it will appoint an interim resident grievance officer on or before July 11th and an interim nodal contact person within 2 weeks. The reply filed by Twitter is this, and I quote, "Twitter has posted publicly a job announcement for a resident grievance officer as a direct employee and is accepting applications at this time. Twitter will endeavor in good faith to make an offer of employment to a qualified individual to fill this position within 8 weeks. End quote. Now, Twitter has also added that it reserves the right to challenge the validity of the IT rules 2021, and I quote, "While Twitter is striving to comply with the 2021 rules, Twitter reserves its right to challenge the legality, validity and bias of the rules, and Twitter's submissions regarding compliance are filed without prejudice to its right to challenge and rules." End quote. Now, to give you a bit of a context, the new IT rules were announced on the 26th of February this year, and all the intermediaries had a deadline till the 26th of May to comply with these new rules. Moving on now, according to a report by Greenpeace India, there has been a severe increase in the emission of nitrogen dioxide in 8 Indian cities. And these are the cities: Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, Jaipur, Lucknow, Hyderabad, Bengaluru and Chennai. Now, compared to last year, Delhi has reported a maximum spike of 125% of NO2 emissions in April this year. It was followed by Chennai with an increase of 94% and Bengaluru with an increase of 90%. Now, NO2 is released when fuel is burned from vehicles, power generation and industrial processes. Now, it severely impacts people's respiratory and circulatory systems, including the brain, and leads to an increase in hospitalizations and mortality. Meanwhile, according to PTI, an earthquake of 5.2 magnitude was reported yesterday in Assam, and tremors were also felt in Meghalaya and northern parts of West Bengal and Bangladesh. However, according to reports, no loss of life or property have been reported so far. On to COVID news now. India has reported 45,892 new COVID cases and 817 deaths in the last 24 hours. The daily positivity rate has been less than 5% for over a month. Now, during a recent meeting with the Health Ministry, the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID and the National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization in India has recommended that people who have received both their doses can avoid quarantine and COVID testing during interstate travel. Now, the center, in the meantime, has asked 8 states to observe stricter action to control the spread of infection, as some of the districts in the state are reporting over 10% positivity rate. Now, these states are Arunachal Pradesh, Kerala, Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, Odisha, and Sikkim. Kerala, in the meantime, has been reporting the highest number of cases. It's reported about 13,772 new COVID cases as of Thursday. On to news from the world of business right now. Petrol prices in the country have surged for the second straight day, and this is the 5th hike in price in just the month of July. It is a 37th hike since May, and I'm going to read out the prices in different cities. Mumbai is reporting the highest with 106.59 rupees per litre. Chennai is about 101.37 rupees per litre. Kolkata is 100.62 rupees per litre. Delhi is 100.56 rupees per litre, and Bengaluru is 103.56 rupees per litre. Now, Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has said, and I quote, "If petrol and diesel prices keep going up like this, the kitchens in our homes will catch fire." She said 3.71 lakh crore rupee revenue has been earned by the centre from taxes that it took from people. She also goes on to say, and I quote, "Don't you think the Narendra Modi government is cutting the pockets of people and filling its own?" End quote. On to news from across the world now. Oman has on Thursday indefinitely suspended passenger flights from 24 countries, including India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, as part of the nation's efforts to control the spread of COVID. In the meantime, the Ministry of External Affairs in India have said that they have taken up the issue of resumption of flights with other countries for Indians. As far as the visa issue is concerned, the MEA has said, and I quote, "We hope that with the vast improving COVID situation, countries would ease restrictions. We've taken up the issue with foreign ambassadors such as resumption of flights. We've actively been trying to help Indians who need to travel back to countries across the world." End quote. As far as the global death toll due to COVID that has crossed 4 million mark on Wednesday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has appealed for a global vaccination plan to control COVID. He has said, and I quote, "Today the world marks yet another grim milestone in the COVID pandemic. 4 million souls have now lost their lives due to the virus. This tragic toll is more than the population of 1 out of 3 countries on earth." End quote. He also went on to say, and I quote, "Many millions more are at risk if the virus is allowed to spread like wildfire. The more it spreads, the more variants we see, variants that are more transmissible, more deadly, and more likely to undermine the effectiveness of current vaccines." End quote. On to news from the world of science and technology now. Google has been sued by 36 US states for allegedly illegally abusing its power over the sale and distribution of apps through the Google Play Store on mobile devices. And this is according to a report by Bloomberg. The states that have said that Google collects an extravagant, and I quote, extravagant commission of up to 30% on app purchases. Now, Google was accused of paying Samsung, which is the largest Android manufacturer, to ensure that the company did not develop its own competing app store. To this, Google has said that the lawsuit, and I quote, gets it wrong by limiting the definition of the app marketplace to Android devices and ignoring that Google competes with Apple for developers and consumers. On to sports news now. Japan has declared a state of emergency in Tokyo from 12th of July to the 22nd of August. Now, the emergency will be in place even during the Tokyo Olympics, which is set to begin from the 23rd of July. According to the BBC, organizers and officials are currently meeting for a very difficult situation on whether to allow local spectators for these games or not. Meanwhile, 2 staff working at the athletes' village in Tokyo have tested positive for COVID. Japan, in the meantime, has reported 2,180 new COVID cases and 14 deaths in just the last 24 hours. Out of this, 920 cases were detected in Tokyo alone. Now, before we wrap things up here on this bulletin, we're going to leave you with a bit of a positive news. Hyderabad-based social worker Azhar Maksusi has been awarded with the UK's Commonwealth Points of Light Award. Now, the award recognizes outstanding individual volunteers who are making a change within their own community. He's a part of an initiative called Hunger Has No Religion by Sunny Welfare Foundation that feeds about 1,500 people every day in 5 cities across the country. According to the Sesa Daily, Azhar lost his father when he was just 4 years old and had to give up his studies at the age of 10 to work odd jobs, according to this report, and support his family as well. Now, Azhar was prompted to start the free food campaign when he first fed a homeless woman under a flyover and saw the impact it had on her. In October 2015, he founded the Sunny Welfare Foundation. Well, that brings us to the end of this bulletin, but before we wrap things up, we're going to leave you with a quiz like we do every single day on this bulletin. Here's the quiz. What has the new IT minister said about Twitter? Leave your comments in the comment section, like and share this video. Thank you so much for watching.